evening to everyone and welcome back. A very good evening to one and all, and welcome back to the Math Debate which has been organized in collaboration with School Times and Educational Media Channel and Unmath School. And a very warm welcome to all the participants and to all our viewers today who are in here for a very interesting discussion as to see how math is being used in the most discussed topic. Let's wait for it. Let's see how everyone brings the topic up, but I will let you know what today's topic is. But I'm pretty sure that every household across the globe, literally every household across the globe, is talking about this particular thing. So, uh, that, we begin our math debate for the day. We have three schools, and we would like to invite the students from all the three schools. Neha ji, can we please get them on the platform?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening. Wow, so good to see all of you. We should start in exactly within a minute or so. So I think there are a few more students who are yet to join in. Okay, that's very good.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. So we have, I guess, yes, all the students are here, and I believe everyone's all excited. So before we start our discussion for the debate today, I wanted to give you guys, the platform to take less than 30 seconds, say your name, introduce yourself, and if you would like to tell what inspired you to participate in today's math talk. Uh, Debasri, can you please start your introduction?
Yes, I am Devatri Majumdar from my school, Delhi Public School, Megacity, Kolkata. And maths is something which is involved in everything and everywhere. So that inspired me to participate in the maths debate. And I'm glad that my speech was liked by you all, and you all selected me to this final round.
Wonderful. Anaya, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes. My name is Ananya Mehta. I am from JVCN International School, Borivali, and I decided to participate in this competition because math is something I completely adore. And when it came to COVID and math, I found a lot of relation between both of them. So I thought I should just share it with everybody.
That's excellent. Well done. What about Shreya? What do you have to share with us?
Good evening, sir. I am Shreya Pradhan from DPS Megacity, Kolkata, and I study in class 6. So today I'm very excited to share my topics with each other, and maths is very interesting subject. Today we will discuss that how maths is involved with COVID-19 vaccine.
Wonderful. I'm excited too. Let's go on in the meantime.
The subject of maths is extremely fun for me,
Okay,
and so finding a way to collaborate with that is a thing I look forward to.
excellent. That's very good. And I would like to see what Aryadev has to say.
Yes, my name is Aryadev, and I have always adored and maths and science are my favorite subjects. And if you can have them together, then it's like peanut butter and jam. So that is what inspired me to join this.
Wow, that's excellent. Let's hear from Jayaram as well.
My name is Jairam Braganza. I'm from Ramratna International School and I love debates. Like debates are one of my favorite pastimes to do. And when maths and COVID-19, our current situation was involved in it, I was so into it. So I was like, debate, yes, please.
Excellent. So I think everyone's all geared up for math debate. Well, every participant has already worked a lot before this particular discussion. But let me tell you that, while everyone talks about the COVID vaccine, I'm just going to be amused to see the way that how you all found math involved in that. And I think with whatever you talk today, of course, this is a competition. Somebody might get a few more points, somebody might not get enough points to win the competition, but I'm sure your research is not just going to be a part of this show. Let me tell you, there'll be so many children who are actually currently watching this show. There are so many of them going to watch it eventually. So you are going to be the reason for spreading the way I say it and the way Amitabh sir also says it, the language of mathematics across the entire country. And you guys are going to be playing a very important role. So, we thought rather than we telling you, why don't you teach the entire community? And so you are going to empower all your friends. So it's not just about being a part of a debate, but you're going to empower, you can say, in the next 30 minutes, a minimum of 10,000 people. Now, how does that sound? Does that make you feel empowered enough? I'm talking about minimum numbers. I'm not even saying that there's going to be a limit to that. It can go to any number, any boundaries beyond that. So, without wasting time, let's get started. Let me lay down the rules. Very simple rules. Nothing to get complicated in that. There's three schools. Each school will get about 5 minutes. The breakup of those 5 minutes is 4 plus 1. The first 4 minutes, you get to speak between two people from your team. You can divide your time amongst both of you. And once you speak, you share your opinions. There's exactly a 60-second timer which will be played. And in that 60 seconds, if any team wants to ask a question to the team who's just presented, then they can. But once that time is up, they cannot ask those questions. So you only have 60 seconds. Now, this is a chance if another team actually asks a very relevant question, you do get a bonus point for that as well. So try and ask relevant questions. But if your question is not relevant, then you might even lose a mark. So be a little careful on that. Apart from that, remember one thing, the more you show relationship between mathematics and the company that you have done, you researched on, it would add a lot more value. I am going to be judging the way you present your answers and at the same time the way you ask questions, because all of you technically are representing three companies. All of them are working towards a vaccine. I hope we all get them soon, very soon. But whichever company we get, when you get that shot, do remember me, okay? Because we did try and discuss about this. Are we good? Should we get started? Okay, great. On that note, I think we'll invite the first school today with math debate lovers from Ram Ratna International School. We'll invite them. So this team, you're going to get 5 minutes, of which the first 4 minutes, I'm going to be setting up your timer. But remember one thing, only when I say start, you'll start. And when you're about 30 seconds to go, I will give you an intimation. So you can accordingly plan your entire discussion. Are you all ready? Yes? Okay. So we're getting a lot of comments from all of you guys. Everyone's wishing you all the very best. So well done. Your time for 4 minutes starts now.
Namaste everyone, I am Jeram Braganza and today I'm going to be focusing upon vaccine efficacy. Vaccine efficacy is a measure of how much the vaccine was able to reduce the incidence of the disease in a group of people who are vaccinated as compared to a group who are not vaccinated. Let's imagine the COVID vaccine study by us, the Serum Institute of India, has recruited 2,000 volunteers. We will randomly assign 1,000 of these volunteers to the vaccine group and the remaining to the control or placebo group. The vaccine group receives the vaccine shot while the control group is given a placebo, often a saline solution. To prevent bias and placebo effects, the studies are conducted in a double-blinded manner, i.e., neither the participant nor the person giving the shot knows whether the shot contains the virus or a saline solution. Suppose after receiving the vaccine or placebo injection, all 200 participants are followed up on for a year. In other words, the 2000 person years. During this observational period, suppose 32 of these people develop COVID 19, and out of these 32, 6 are from the vaccine group and 26 are from the control group. I have chosen 32 purposefully to match a key number mentioned in the Pivots's protocol document. We can calculate the incidence rate of COVID 19 in the vaccine and control groups by 6 upon 1000 person years for the vaccine group and 26 upon 1000 people years for the control group. In general, notice that the denominator is in person years, not in persons. Under certain assumptions, 1000 person years worth of observational data can be produced by observing 1000 participants for 1 year or 2000 participants for 6 months. In practice, the actual number of person years of monitoring will be higher than 1000 to account for participants who are lost to monitoring, because one stops monitoring a participant when they develop the disease. So the person years after the onset of disease are lost. Up to a certain point and under certain assumed risks, the concept of person years enables the vaccine study to greatly shorten the duration of the trial by simply recruiting a very large number of participants. Thank you.
At this minute, many are grappling with a particularly urgent and thorny area of research, modeling the optimal rollout of a vaccine. Because vaccine supply will be limited at first, the decisions about who gets those first doses could save tens of thousands of lives. It is now critical that promising early outcomes come in. Because COVID-19 is especially lethal for those over 65 and those with other health problems such as obesity, diabetes, or asthma, and yet is spreading rapidly on healthy young adults who are more likely to recover. Mathematicians of the Serum Institute of India are faced with two conflicting priorities when modeling for vaccines. Should they prevent deaths or slow transmission? But every time we get the same answer. Vaccinate the elderly first to prevent deaths and then move on to other healthier groups. It has been concluded that if the primary goal is to reduce mortality rates, adults over 60 should be prioritized for direct vaccination. To model the rollout of vaccines, mathematicians here at the Serum Institute of India must build formulas that reflect the starburst of human life and our complex interactions. Using data like housing and socioeconomic status, daily habits, age, and health risks, but first, they establish how contagious the virus is, its reproductive rate, or
30
R
seconds
naught.
to go.
This represents the number of people that one infected person can expect to transmit the infection to. But for vaccines that are at least 60% effective, once there is enough to cover at least half the population, switching to target healthy individuals over 20 to 50, as well as children, would minimize deaths. The model created by mathematicians using the logistic maps also predict how many deaths can be averted by with different amounts of vaccine coverage. For instance, if 20% of the population has already been infected and is immune, deaths could be halved by vaccinating just 35% of the remainder, if the vaccine is at least
Stop. I'm
50%
sorry.
effective.
I'm sorry. Stop. Aditya, stop. Thank you. You did try to complete, I think, most of your sentence, but time's up.
It
Thank
completed.
you so much. I'm sorry to break your flow. Oh, you got completed? I'm so glad.
Yeah.
But yes, you wanted to play with the rule, but yes, you have managed to finish it. Well done. I think before we go to anything else, they both deserve a big round of applause. Please, everyone, a virtual clap or a good clap for them. Yes, so for all our audience, a wonderful virtual clap. A little bit of cheers for the team. Everyone, all those who are viewing, come on, cheer for your team. Okay. Apart from that, now it's time for your 1 minute question answer round. I'm going to start the timer. Anybody who wants to ask a question, now is the time. It's not compulsory to, you can. I'll repeat. It's not compulsory to ask a question, but if you wish, you'd like to. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. At one point in the speech, I'm not sure who said it, but one of them said that to predict the number of people a person can infect, but that cannot. I don't get how it's predicted. Anybody can come in contact with almost any number of people. So how do you? Is there some certain algorithm or something to predict? How is it possible?
Yeah, you see, if you can find the reproductive rate, or if you can find the rate at which COVID 19 spreads, okay, by touch, by by many means it can spread. So this spreading method, if we can find the rate of the spreading, we can easily find out from if it originated from somewhere. If it started from one person, we can find out how many people it will infect.
At first,
More of a
the R naught was labeled as 4, but that is not very that is not very sufficient, or it was in the early stages. Now we do not know how what it exactly is. So an accurate prediction would help us out a lot.
Interesting. I think that's a wonderful explanation and a good question, though, Ahan. I will not deny that. Very good question. And Ramratna, well done. You've given a good answer. And I think to add to your question, Ahan, the thing is that when you all these models of mathematics are only used to predict the kind of or the possibility. It's not certain, but the kind of possibility this virus can actually spread, and depending on how dense the area is where the person is affected, considering what is the social distancing norms. Anaya, I'm so sorry, but I'm up for asking questions. Is there anything else apart from the question? You can put a question, but if it's about them, then I'm sorry, your time's out for that. Okay, so on that note, well done again, all the boys who've done so far. Excellent job. Now it's time for the next school. Um, Now, for the next school, before we go to the next school and we hear their responses, do you think we should take a very short break of 30 seconds or so that you guys can just like gear up and get ready for it? Okay, so it's time for a quick 30-second break. Neha ji, can we have a quick break for 30 seconds? Okay, and we are back again. So we're all set, and it's time for the next school to come in. Any guess who's going to come in next? I think I'm going to call in next our very own DPS Mega City. Come on. Your time for 4 minutes starts now.
This is not the world we had in mind, but we got time. We are stuck on answers we can't find, but we got time. We never imagined we would have to use these lines for explaining our current dreadful situation caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. But yes, mathematical techniques and solutions are helping us to overcome this situation gradually. Good evening, everyone. Today I'm here to share my views on how maths is involved in the development of the COVID-19 vaccine Zycov-D, which is being produced by the Ahmedabad-based pharmaceutical Zydus Cadila. Maths is used to analyze the experimental data to produce a formula which can be used to understand the nature of the virus, and that is required to uh, determine the clinical composition of the vaccine. Zydus Cadila received their permission for the third phase of human trial, and after these trials are all over, they have decided to increase their production capacity by 70%, and that will result in additional 50 to 70 million doses of this plasmid DNA vaccine. Maths is needed to do all these calculations. Physics and maths are interrelated. Mathematical calculations like addition, subtraction, division, multiplication, perimeter, area, and volume all are required to take the measurements for producing the required capacity, compatible machines, and the manufacturing units. The medical centers should also be big enough. Did you know 50% of the people researching for the vaccines are having a MSc of mathematics? Now coming to economics, it is also an interesting subject that deals with money and marketing, and Cadila needs economics to know what is the current marketing trend and also to set their budget. The government of India has set aside 500 billion rupees for Cadila to vaccinate our country. Statistic which deals with symmetry, pattern, and data handling is also needed by Cadila to decide and conduct successful vaccination trials. And now my friend Shreya will continue.
Cadilla's Zycov-D is based on a circular molecule of DNA. To understand the shape of DNA, we use the concept of geometry. To study the virus genetic code, we use complex mathematical model. These models are nothing but the equations or formulas which can predict the behavior of the virus over the time. Cadila has already completed phase 2 clinical trials, and on last Friday, it was given the approval to start phase 3 trials. How these trials are related with maths? The researchers divide patients into different groups based on age, health condition, geographic region, and other criteria. This requires a complete understanding of data handling and statistics. Now, the trial result. Though Cadila has still not come up with vaccine efficacy, but calculating the efficacy is completely based on maths. They plot graphs to understand in which age group the vaccine is most effective, in which it is least effective, what is the optimum dose of the vaccine, etc. At the end of the trial, researchers use statistical analysis to understand how well this vaccine will work to the
30
larger
seconds to
group.
go.
In one interview, Cadla's chairman Pankaj Patel said the company is targeting to complete the vaccine trial by March 2021 and they could produce up to 100 million doses a year. So, how did Cadla come up with these numbers? It is nothing but the estimation technique, which uses rounding, average, equation, probability, and other mathematical concepts. So, we see that maths is used in every aspect of our life. Wherever we go, whatever we do,
Stop,
we are
stop,
using
stop, stop,
maths
stop.
without.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Time's up. Sorry. But yes, I must say this was a fabulous discussion. Very, very well put. We have to go by the rules, but it's time up. Well done. Extremely well done. Everyone, a big round of applause for them. Yes. Okay, and a virtual clap from all our viewers as well. So, DPS, this was a good thought. You've explained your math concepts pretty well, the relationship between each and every aspect of it. It's that time now when you look at, asking for questions. But before we go for that, this is only 1 minute. If you want to ask your questions, ask quick. Time starts now. Yes, Jairam had a question already. Yes, and then Anaya. I'm going to take your question to Anaya. Jairam, quick.
Devatri, I had sorry, not Devatri, sorry, Shreya. You had used the term optimum dose of vaccine. Could you define optimum dose of vaccine?
So optimum doses means how much amount of dose is required for the vaccine.
Thank you.
Yes,
Welcome.
Anaya.
So they both mentioned that they will increase their production rate by 70%. How will they do that? Will they collaborate with any other country, or can you tell me?
And they will ask the others and the government, and they will come together and decide how to do it. And before that, they must pass the trials. And after that, they will decide it and do some calculations what they need to do. And they can also collaborate with other countries if they feel like. And all depends on money, and the government has set aside 500 billion rupees, and it is predictable that with that we can with that Zydus Cadila can manage to increase their production capacity.
Do you
Okay.
know about the success rate? Can you tell me about it?
Sorry, I could not hear you.
Can you tell me about the success rate of the vaccine?
Well, the success rate is there, and that can be anything. The success rate will come to know when they have completed the trials, and the success rate is not yet told to the public yet. So how can I tell that? It will be better answered by the chairman of the company.
Okay. I think
Okay, thank you.
good questions and good responses. I must say everyone gave very good responses, although we exceeded little more time, but I did not interrupt because I felt the questions were good. And even the responses were very nicely presented. So for both the teams, kudos. Jairam, good question. Although what he exactly wanted may have not come out when he asked that question specifically, but okay, good question. And Anaya also well done. And the DPS Megacity very nicely presented overall. There was one very interesting comment which came from one of our viewers, Ms. Shraddha, mentioned MSc in mathematics for vaccines. I mean, people have to do that. And I think that was one of the most interesting points that I actually came across. So well done, DPS Megacity, for bringing that up. I really like that the line that you mentioned. So nevertheless, are we ready for the last school? And that is very own JBCN from Mumbai. But before we go there, I think we should take a quick 30-second break. Or should we just start? Are you guys ready? You want to go ahead right away or you want a 30-second break? I think they want to go ahead. Okay, let's just go ahead and finish this. Okay, and then we'll take a break before I trouble you with the results. Okay, so it's time for you, and your time for 4 minutes starts now.
Good afternoon, everybody present here. My name is Ananya Mehta, and I'm from JBCN International School, Borivali, Mumbai. Mathematics has immensely contributed in understanding, assessing the spread of COVID-19, and planning measures to control the spread, coupled with developing a vaccine to combat COVID. The mathematical concepts that will help in the production of the vaccine are probability, which will help to decide the testing population and then produce the vaccine. Percentage concept will be applied to plan production depending on the percentage of population to be covered. The concept of time will be used to plan production as the vaccine will be administered in 2 doses over a gap of 28 days. In selling, the percentage concept will be applied to plan cold chain storage and distribution facilities to ensure timely availability of the vaccine. We need to store the vaccine under controlled temperatures. Here, integers arithmetic will be handy to make temperature calculations. The chemical composition, ratio and proportion and fractions are used to compare the measurements of various chemical elements that are added in the vaccine. Sampling techniques were employed to isolate and select appropriate population to be tested. The company strategy. The vaccine is expected to be priced around rupees 100, considering majority of the population is low to middle income category. This is significantly lower than the other vaccines that are expected to be priced in the range of rupees 1000 to 3000. The substantial discount at which Bharat Biotech plans to provide the vaccine to the public will result in losses to the government. Speed, distance, and time calculations will help you manage distribution logistics. Thank you for hearing me out.
Good evening, everyone. At the onset, I would like to thank Unmath for triggering my imagination and getting me to think about math in a seemingly dominant science area. I'm here to highlight how math is closely involved in developing, manufacturing, and distributing Covaxin, Bharat Biotech International's COVID-19 vaccine candidate. Let's first look at the development of Covaxin. Will it surprise you if I said geometry is a very important role in vaccine development? The protein shells of most viruses are essentially geometric puzzles. Each virus generates a different geometric structure, which predetermines how it works. Accurate analysis of this provides insight into the weak areas of their stability and helps us better understand how to attack them. Even with all that geometry involved, I bet they didn't find any use of the set square here too. The average time spent on research for any vaccine currently stands around 5 years. The COVID-19 vaccine has been put together in about 9 months. That's 98.2% faster. Simple unitary method to the rescue. In order to rapidly develop the vaccine, there would be the need to apply meticulous statistics and data management to ensure all information is recorded and analyzed efficiently towards creating the answer to the one question that has been haunting me for quite some time. When do I get to hug my friends the next time I see them? Up Up next is the game of percentages. Bharat Biotech has declared a production capacity of 30 crore vaccine doses per year. Sounds like a big number? Wait until I place it against India's total requirement of 138 crore doses, just over 20% of the total requirement. This means the good folks at Bharat Biotech would have to keep the factories running for 5 whole years. Good thing they ran the numbers just like me and will collaborate to
30
increase
seconds to
speed
go.
so we can all stop stocking 9 different sanitizer bottles in our bags. I bet there was plenty of more math going around at Bharat Biotech, but I'd leave that for another time. See you soon, hopefully on the other side of COVID 19. Thank you.
Wonderful. So I think it's time, before we go ahead for any questions, these guys finished precisely in 7 seconds to spare. And in this situation, we must give them a big round of applause for putting the point across and finishing on time. Well done, everyone, and very nicely explained. Uh, okay, we have a minute of question answer round, and can we get started with that? Your time starts now. First question coming from yes. Go on, Jairam. Oh, sorry, Jairam, you've asked a question. Arya, quick.
Okay, as Miss Ananya mentioned that the cost will be 100 rupees. Now, how do you plan to make the vaccine efficient that in 100 rupees, and how do you plan to cover the costs? Because it is not feasible to give 138 crore people vaccine at rupees 100 rupees.
Okay, so I think that rupees 100 will be manageable to the government because they have to take the losses because it's like lives again livelihood and both are at stake. So I think the government is it's going to have to take the losses because if a vaccine gets produced, trains will start, jobs will get employed, people who have got stuck in their villages can come back and many jobs can get starting and also get started and also telling that the efficiency rate. So I said the losses the government have to do. So I think it'll be manageable by the government. They'll manage it.
Excellent. Any other
Can I add
question?
to Ananya's
Follow
answer?
up.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, quick, quick,
Yeah,
quick.
and also,
I will
now
take
many
Shreya's question
vaccines
also. Don't worry. Yeah.
Moderna is giving a vaccine for $37. That's not feasible for a common man. And it's like, and 100 rupees is like a small price to pay for a way bigger uh, reward. Entire country can start working again. All companies will be on full scale. That's helping to boost the economy. So 100 rupees is good for people who don't earn that much.
Okay. Last question from Shreya. Yes, Shreya. Quick.
So, Ahan Vyas, you have how you have. So, can you explain that how Bharat Biotech can produce this much doses a year?
I did not understand your question.
I was saying that how Bharat Biotech said that they can produce this much doses, as you have said in the speech.
That's
So
the
can you
capacity
explain?
of their factories, and they're even collaborating with ICMR, if I'm not mistaken. Then those two working together, that's how much capacity the factories have, and that's how they're producing 30 crore doses a year.
Thank you.
Okay. So, yes, because we have, we had Jairam constantly pointing his question, and we couldn't ask, we didn't have, much of the time left. So I'm sorry, Jairam, time's up over there. But, I think all of you have put me in a very tough spot. Trust me. I don't know. I really have no words. The entire show that all of you have put across. Let me tell you something. I think if I was at your age, I knew literally in terms of mathematics less than 1/10 of what you guys know. Literally. So I mean, hats off to all of you. I think you all did a fantastic job, and in terms of putting up all the information, it's definitely going to be one of my the most difficult situation to actually sit down and evaluate. It could be completely unfair to say anybody is a winner today because literally all of you did so well. Uh, I'll have to come up with something which is a common point so that everybody does get rewarded because you guys were fantastic. I mean, literally fantastic. And I'm not even saying it for the heck of saying it. I'm pretty sure everybody is watching it. And if you go back later and you check on YouTube, all the comments will say that there's not a single person who, you would feel that, okay, this guy did better than that. Everybody was at par. But okay, we'll definitely try to see what could be done. Uh, Okay, so I think let's do one thing. Let's take a quick break, and I'm very very happy to see the kind of responses that all of you have put across. We'll be back in less than a minute, and we should be ready with the results then. Stay tuned, everyone. And you guys are back. Now, I think let's do, before we come up with all the results and everything, uh, we'll say, we'll start with DPS Megacity. Could you tell me, apart from your school, if you were to choose some other school, which school would you choose, DPS Megacity?
Sir, JBCN.
Yes, sir, even I feel so.
Okay. Jairam, if you didn't want to choose Ram Ratna, I mean you can't choose your own name, so which school would you choose?
Even I'd choose GBCN.
Okay. What about Aryadev?
Yeah, JBCN.
Okay. JBCL, what about you? If you didn't want to choose, I mean, you can't choose your own name, so whom would you choose?
Ram Ratna.
Ramnath.
Ram Ratna. Okay. So JBCN has chosen Ram Ratna, and okay, so I think this is going to be quite a tough one. Let me put it across this way. Okay. Uh, I'm not selecting one winner today for sure. It's just not fair with all of you because you guys have done a fabulous job. I am not going to make sure that all of you, should feel demotivated. But let me tell you, first and foremost, uh, all of you have empowered at least 10,000 people, and I hope this video goes more and more. Everyone, please do share this with your other friends as well. You can ask your friends to share this well so that they get to learn so much. Apart from that, I think all the three teams deserve something. So what we're going to do this time is we're not going to give you, I'm going to make a change, and this is a very spontaneous change. Usually, we give certificates to everyone who's participated, and the winning team gets a certificate and a gift voucher. But no, this time you all are going to get a certificate for special mention, and that special mention will say what you did extremely well in. So we're going to talk about, say, JBCN did extremely well in putting across the facts of mathematics and tried to identify your applications pretty well. While DPS Megacity did a very good extensive research on the working of the vaccine very extensively and the math involved in it, which brought out the entire combination of it so beautifully. While Ram Ratna did a fantastic combination of how the pandemic and the vaccine both went hand in hand and how this whole thing was developed and how the entire calculation of math was involved in it. So all of you did some focus areas and you specialize in a certain area. But again, like I said, there has to be one team which wins, unfortunately. But everybody is going to get a special mention. And I think we have Amitabh sir, if he'd like to share a few words, if his network permits, because he was very impressed to see the way all of you have performed today. If sir can hear us and you would like to share a few words to the kids before we share out the results, I'm not too sure if he can hear us. So unfortunately, he's having a little bit of connectivity issue. So nevertheless, so for today, I think the favorites were, of course, everyone did mention. It was very clear that everybody clearly mentioned it was JBCN. So well done, JBCN. You've definitely won this round. But we are going to give DPS Megacity a special mention for providing fantastic points over there. And so this was going to be a joint winning. So we'll have JBCN and as a winner today, and we have a wonderful special appreciation for DPS Megacity as well. So we want DPS Megacity also to cheer up. Well done, and Ram Ratna, you definitely did well, and there's a lot more to come in, and we're going to have every 2 weeks, we're going to have a competition coming up. This was your first attempt. I think JVCN and DPS Megacity have come in before, so I think maybe they had a little bit of understanding of this. But then, yes, they had an advantage. But I think they all did a fabulous job, and all of you did a wonderful job. Thank you so much for joining with us. Your certificates and gift vouchers. Let me remind you. Uh, every participant usually gets only a certificate of participation. This time, everybody is going to get a participation certificate, a certification of appreciation, and a gift voucher also to everyone because everyone did fabulously well. So we'll be sending you the details. So that includes DPS Megacity also will get a gift voucher and even goes for Ramratna School as well. So everybody's going to get something because you did fabulously well. Trust me, I wish this was not a competition and I did have to choose just one school or something of that sort, but all of you did extremely, extremely well. Before we log out in today's session, I want each one of you to tell me what was the key learning that you take away from today's math debate. Let's start with Jairam.
Well, I learned I need to work in many more places.
Hmm.
I've it's like I've done the research, but then the problem was lying actually in the way I put together the research, because I thought that this math debate would focus on one main part. So that's why I focused on the part of um, that thing called testing of the virus. Sorry, testing
Fair.
of the vaccine. Whereas I asked if Adidev could do the supplying. So we were focusing on two different parts that would come together as one. I did not realize that we were going to talk about all aspects. So that is
Oh, that's good.
where
You
my
learned
mistake lied.
something, and you've and I think you gained a lot of knowledge. So well done on that. Wonderful, great. What about next? Yes. What about you? Yeah, from JV from Ramratna International School.
Yeah, I learned a lot more facts and the facts that DPS and DPS. I think I am sorry if I'm saying it wrong, saying the wrong name. And JBC, and I learned a lot facts, and it has get helped me get my hopes up for a vaccine that may be out and wait sooner than I thought. So I learned a lot about that.
Wonderful. That's great. JBCN, what do you have to think about? What was your key learning today?
I think that
I
if we just try to notice, find it, then we can find maths in everything, and it can help us solve almost all problems.
Wonderful. Okay. What about you, Anaya?
I I learned that the vaccine might come. Let us all be hopeful, and maths might win the battle.
Very good. What about DPS Megacity? Debotree? Debotree, can you hear us? In the meantime, Shreya, would you like to share your thoughts?
So we have all learned that through maths we can make our future better. And due to this COVID-19 pandemic, researchers are working hard to invent the vaccine. So they are using a lot of subjects like maths and science. So that's all from my side.
Wonderful. Debotree, can you hear us? I think there's some connectivity issue with that. Okay, so I think well done, guys. I think all of you were fabulous. Yes, Debotree did message me. She's having some network issues. No problem. Thank you for joining us, each one of you. I hope all of you enjoyed and keep spreading the language of mathematics. Every time you do this, remember me, remember school times, remember us, remember the math debate, and don't forget this phase because when you get a shot, remember that we discussed the math in it. So when they are injecting that shot, remember that what is the right amount of quantity they are putting in, and are you all getting it or no? But my key takeaway would be I don't think there's anything possible on this earth to do without maths. So I'm sure now that you've already done your initial research, every little possible thing that you see around you will see some application of math in it. So on that note, you've got to stay tuned and you'll have to keep looking at math all throughout. And every alternate Thursday, you've got to tune in, see what are the different topics coming up, what other children are talking and what they're debating on. You might just keep learning wonderful concepts of math that you've been seeing only in textbooks, but now it's time that you see it in your real life as well. Thank you once again. We are signing out on behalf of School Time, which is an educational channel for such brilliant content, and from Unmatched School, who we try to spread the language of mathematics jointly in the form of Math Debate. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye bye.